And I quote from a real review someone typed with their real fingers. Oh, and a description of a penis. Just casually dropped in there like it's noting the weather.
For heaven's sake, that's where you're starting. No hello, no introduction to the book, just anatomical details from an anonymous online commenter.
It sets the tone. This isn't Jane Austen discusses crumpets hour. This is Bloodguard by Cecy Robson, the book Red Tower shoved down our throats promising us Maximus Decimus Meridius in elf ears, and instead, we got, well, that. And apparently, a detailed description of it.
Welcome to Heart Book Radio, listeners. Today we are discussing Bloodguard, and yes, it is published by Red Tower, the current darlings or devils, depending on your viewpoint of the Romantasy genre, famous for other books we shall not name because some people still haven't apologized for their opinions.
Oh, here we go. Still mad I thought Fourth Wing's romance was about as believable as a politician's promise. Get over it. Bloodguard makes that look like Shakespeare. This thing is basically gladiator fan fiction someone wrote after watching the movie on mute.
It's marketed as a male point of view romantasy, which is a rarer beast in the genre, focusing on Leith, a gladiator fighting for survival and freedom in a brutal, politically charged world.
Male point of view, my left foot. Readers went in expecting Russell Crowe and got, according to one reviewer, a 15-year-old boy who thinks he's the coolest, baddest man in town. Another just called him an alpha male with big muscles and big dicks. So, nuanced character development right there.
Now, that's unfair. Some readers found Leith fiercely loyal and kind-hearted. The intent was to explore trauma and survival from his perspective.
Intent doesn't count when the execution feels flatter than my neighbor Carol's singing voice. And don't get me started on his motivation. Nobody knows what it is. He broods. He fights. He suddenly falls in love faster than I ditch a bad date. He reminds me of my ex Gary. All stoic silence and dramatic sighs, but underneath, just wondering when pizza arrives. That's Leith.
Okay, moving on. There's also the female lead, Maeve, the elven princess who needs to marry Leith for political reasons.
Oh, princess. I'm not like other pretty girls. Maeve, let me guess. She's so misunderstood because she's pretty. Gag me with a sprayed edge. Apparently, she makes some decision near the end that tanks her entire character arc anyway. Good riddance. Probably decided to start an artisanal lemur farm.
There are mentions of unusual creatures, but Maeve represents the political intrigue, the forced proximity.
Forced proximity that leads to insta-love so fast it gives you whiplash. 1 minute they're sizing each other up like prize fighters. The next they're swapping spit and declaring undying love. Did they even have a conversation that wasn't about stabbing people or political alliances? I bet their pillow talk is just grunting and battle plans.
The romance has been a point of contention for many readers expecting a slower burn.
Contention? People are quitting this book left, right, and center. 10%, 27%, 49%. It's a massacre. They came for the gladiator. They stayed for... Oh, wait, they didn't stay. They ran screaming. One review literally said, "It's not a book, it's a damn script." Another called it, like the script of a bad Wattpad story of a really bad fan fiction of the Gladiator series. Ouch.
Yet, others call it one of the best books of the year, praising the vicious, bloodthirsty arena scenes and the emotional weight. The reviews are incredibly polarized. Some find the world building fantastic, others non-existent. Some love the fights
And some found them confusing as heck, like trying to follow a toddler explaining a superhero movie. And then the guy went whoosh, and the other guy went bam, but then there was a shiny thing. That's these fight scenes, apparently. I got an email, the psychic kind, from a listener, Brenda and Boys. She asks, "What in God's name is a vampire moon horse cult? Is it a baby vampire horse? Why does it exist?"
I saw mentions of moon horses and vampire cults. The reviewer seemed equally perplexed. Perhaps it's high-concept world-building that requires careful reading.
Or maybe it's just nonsense glued together with hype and pretty sprayed edges. Typical Red Tower. Slap a fancy cover on it, promise the moon, deliver a moon rock that might actually just be painted styrofoam. Just like Fourth Wing.
Must we bring that up again? Red Tower is clearly tapping into a market desire. They produce physically beautiful books that many readers do enjoy. You can't deny the phenomenon.
I can deny the quality control. If half your readers are quitting before page 100 saying it reads like bad fanfic, and the other half are screaming it's the best thing ever, maybe the book isn't the masterpiece. Maybe the marketing is.
So, you're saying reader enjoyment is irrelevant if the literary merit is debatable?
I'm saying if you promise me a steak and give me a burger that looks like a steak but tastes like cardboard described with unnecessary anatomical detail, I'm gonna be mad. Okay, hypothetical time. If Leith, our brooding gladiator boy man, were a sandwich, what kind would he be?
A sandwich? We're comparing protagonists to sandwiches now? That's utterly reductive and frankly absurd.
Answer the question.
I refuse to dignify that with a serious response. It contributes nothing to the literary discourse.
Fine. He's a sad, dry turkey sandwich on untoasted white bread. Looks vaguely substantial, but is ultimately bland and disappointing. I said it.
This is why we get complaints. Okay, fine. Final thoughts. Let's try and bring this chaotic vessel into port. Your rating?
Bloodguard gets 2 out of 10 confusing vampire horse colts. Pretty cover messy guts, like finding out a Feyberge egg is filled with packing peanuts.
I'm conflicted. The concept had potential. The hype is undeniable for better or worse. Some moments clearly resonated with readers, even if others found it lacking. I give it 5 out of 10 unmet expectations, but the sprayed edges are objectively lovely.
Week. Next week, listeners, we're tackling a real literary heavyweight. Brenda the Sentient Stapler finds love. Heard it's steamy.
It's called Stapled Heart, and it's a metaphorical exploration of office supplies. Honestly, just tune in next time for more literary analysis, questionable tangents, and barely concealed animosity for Heart Book Radio.